welcome back to my channel. I was inspired to revisit the pumpkin spice palette. I really have not used this since I reviewed it 2 years ago, so I thought we would do that. I did a video that should be up before this one where I got some holiday Too Faced makeup that was on sale. So I am going to try out a bronzer, which is why my makeup is not finished. I'll do that on camera, and then we'll do a look and see if my opinions on this have changed. I've been watching Emily Noel, and she really likes this palette, so we're going to revisit it. If that sounds interesting, stick around, make sure you're subscribed, and we're going to jump into the video. My base is done. My eyebrows are done. I was going to test out the hot chocolate bronzer that I got on sale. And I figured I would do it on camera because I haven't used this yet. This is going to be a contour for me. I like going in with like a contour bronzer if you're new, or like a true contour shade. This is what it looks like to contour. And then I like to go in with something a little more shimmery to help blend it out. So we're going to try, I just use a Baddington brush. This is what I like for contour. So we're going to go in. You've got kind of a deeper, a little bit darker, like chocolate soleil, lighter, and then the white. This shimmer right here is overspray, so that's probably going to go away here soon. I'm just going to kind of tap into both sides. And this does have a nice smell. It's not super deep. Like, I am very, very fair. So for me, this is probably fine. If you are anything beyond light skin tone, this is not going to show up. This is lighter to me than the chocolate soleil, which could be why I haven't really seen anybody talk about it, because it is, like, you can see some color there, and then you see that gold is starting to wear off. I am almost transparent. You know, it's been 2 years since COVID, but I don't go outside as much. And I am a stay-at-home mom now, so I am super fair. So this will work for me, but like I said, if you're anything darker than a light skin tone, this is not going to show up. But it's decent. Do I like this as well as the chocolate, like regular chocolate soleil? No, just because I have to go in more. But it's a nice, for me, it's a nice, like, natural, like, bronzer contour shade. So I don't, and it works on the nose. This is definitely not a, like, extreme contour shade for me, but it isn't. And then we'll keep it Too Faced. Since that was so light, let's do a little bit of Unicorn Tears. This was another limited edition. This one's very shimmery, so, and it is deep. I don't know, people didn't really like this one either. It does still smell like fruit. Like, it's, all of the unicorn stuff had kind of a fruit punch smell, but you can see it's giving me a nice glow. It's not straight up glittery to me, and it's, again, it's light. Like, it looks deeper in the pan than it is. And that may be the other issue is, again, if you're darker, like light to medium maybe, but anything darker, it's probably not going to work. But that is the bronzer. I'm going to finish up my face, and then we will come back and we'll try out the pumpkin spice. So my face is finished. I just used a Tarte blush and then the highlight from the little holiday set from like 3 years ago, the top of the sugar cookie in Angel Wings. It's a really nice, like, soft highlight, so just use that. Okay, we're going to go into the pumpkin spice palette. If you're new here, mine is broken. I did get a little bit of a refund because I got mine through QVC because I got it early. So my lid just is not attached, which makes it nice for tutorials because then I'm not fumbling around with the lid. So we're going to come in here. I'm going to copy or try and recreate the best that I can a look that Emily Noel did. This is the look that she did in her review. I will try and remember and link it down below, but if I forget to, it's just the look that she does in her review of this palette. So if you go to her channel and search it, that's the look that I'm essentially copying. It looked really pretty. The issues that I had with this palette real quick is this shade right here is a little patchy. You can make it work, but it doesn't work to me as well as the magenta shade in the Gingerbread Spice, this Gumdrop shade, which is my favorite shade in the Gingerbread Spice palette. So I think that's what kind of put me off on this, is that I had trouble with that shade and then just never came back to the palette, which is silly because you have all of these other like pretty shades, and I was able to make it work. So we're going to revisit. I'm going to start off with Fall For It, which is this peachy shade. Like I said, I just watched her video. I'm pretty sure I watched it. Oh, there's still some shadow on there. Let's see if I can blend, get rid of that later. That's what happens when your eye brushes are dirty. And I primed with the Gerard Clean Canvas. It's a very like thicker, like concealer-esque eye primer. So if you have a palette that you struggle to make work, it is amazing. I'm a big fan of the MAC paint pot, and I think the Gerard Clean Canvas works better than that, and they're the same price. They're like $20 primers. But if you have a palette that you like struggle to make work, and you can use regular concealer because the Gerard Clean Canvas is pretty like concealer-esque, but that is my go-to primer for most things. And then I'm going to go into Love You a Latte, which is this warm brown, and I'm doing my very best to use the shades that she used. Like I said, I just watched that video, so this is not probably going to be exact, but she did a really pretty sunsetty eye, and it didn't involve that pinky magenta-y shade, so I figured it would be a good, I was trying to think of a look to do that didn't involve using that shade, because I think my opinions of this palette will be a little bit better if I stay away from that color. Like I said, you can make it work. I used it when I did my initial review, and I'll try and remember and link my initial review video down below, because I did do one. And I'm just dipping back in, trying to blend that out. I like Emily Noel's look. She doesn't do anything like super complicated, and they're all like really pretty easy looks. So sometimes if I have trouble thinking of something to do for a palette, and I just like, she's got a nice voice and a calming like presence, so I just like watching her videos. Okay, we're gonna go into Ginger Spice, which is orange. You hear noises in the background. My daughter, the baby, is in her swing, and she, I think, just threw her bottle out. But as long as she's happy in there, I'll leave her in there. Try and get this done really quick, because it's going to be a little bit before she goes back to sleep. So I'm just putting this, warming up the crease here. I think I'm blowing my crease out a little bit more than she did, but also like our eye shapes are different, and even if you recreate something to a T, it's never going to look exactly the same. So I'm using all the same shades. And then she went in with a little bit of pumpkin spice, which is this mustard, and she focused a little more towards the top of that. And I liked this look too that she did, because it utilized more shades. Like I said, I think my opinions so far on this palette are better. So hopefully I can get some use out of it, because I have it. I almost decluttered this because I was so like taken back by it. But it's really a pretty good palette. Like I said, that one shade's a hair dry, but... and I will forever gripe about that, because like I said, that's my favorite shade out of the Gingerbread Spice. So I think that was my gripe, is that Too Faced is capable of making a shade like that not be dry. They just for whatever reason, had trouble this time. Okay, so that's pretty. And then she went into Spice of Life, which is this deep bluey plummy color. So I'm going to get a different brush. I have my Sigma E 25. Let's try that. That is going to go in the outer corner. Like I said, she did that. Like, you wouldn't necessarily think to use these purples with these warm shades, but it does give you, I said, a very, very pretty sunsetty eye. And this is a really nice shade, not patchy. It's got really good depth. And there is a nice, like, darker brown, and then you do have a burgundy in here, which we will use the burgundy a little bit. Okay, I'm blending a little bit with the E25. And then my eyes are hooded, so I have to go in and kind of see where it's showing. Okay, I'm gonna clean that brush off and then just kind of blend that into the crease a little bit. And then I'm gonna go in actually with the burgundy shade to help kind of blend. So we're gonna go into Warm and Cozy. I actually think I'm gonna go back in to my little blending brush. Just towards the top there where that purple is meeting those warm colors to kind of help it. And it gives you a little more of a gradient, like the depth effect. And then I'm going to go in and tap just a little bit more because it's looking a little... there, I want it to like really look bluey purple. Okay. And then I'll go back in with the blending brush. Make sure they're even. Decided to do both eyes at the same time. It's a little bit easier for me to get them the same when I do them together, obviously, as opposed to doing one eye and then filming the other. Okay. So that was it for the matte. So I'm going to get, she uses her finger because some of these are flaky. These two, and then these two are on the flakier side. These two are more traditional shimmer. The Falling for You and Crisp. I use glitter glue. She uses her finger for those flaky shades. Sticking something tacky down, you'll never have an issue. And I use the NYX glitter glue with every shimmer just because it gives me a little more staying power, a little more control. You have less fallout. This is how I prefer to do shimmer. So if you find like flakier, and I've said this about the Gingerbread Spice, there's a really super chunky flaky white shade in the Gingerbread Spice palette that people hate. Use a glitter glue with it because it's super pretty on the lid. You just need you have to have something tacky or it's gonna crumble and turn into a mess. But it's very, very pretty if you can get it to stick. I get compliments when I pair it with that magenta-y shade when I do looks with that from that palette. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with Want a Piece of Me, which is this light lilac-y shade that's pretty. And you can see it is like chunking up a little bit, but again, that's why I am gonna get some fallout. I can feel it. It's not uncommon with the chunky shade like this. Like I said, having that sticky base down. Too Faced makes a glitter glue. I've never tried theirs. The NYX one's very affordable and works really well, and that's the one I've always used, so I've never been able to justify spending $20. I hate having to spend, I think the NYX one's like $10. I need to buy a new one. Mine's old. It still works, but I'm sure I need to replace it. So I'm just putting that all over the lid. it does like it's a chunk up. And then I'm gonna go into PSL and Chill. I'm gonna take that with my finger. It's almost a duochrome. It's a little bit darker. I'm gonna try and come in here where the lavender meets that darker shade. Give me a little more. Go in with the brush and help blend. When I'm meeting the shimmer to the matte, it helps me to go in with my finger first, because sometimes these shimmers don't want to stick. And then I'll go in with a brush with a little bit and add a little bit more. But I feel like that gives me a little bit more just right there and kind of helps blend those into one another. Now she did purple on the bottom. She used this Spice of Life shade and just blended that in. I was debating about doing maybe something green on the bottom, doing something a little bit different. So I'm gonna see if I can get, a new brush on the floor. Oh, now it's got dog hair on it. Not that it didn't have dog hair before, but dropping it on the floor definitely has dog hair on it. The only thing I would, and I changed my mind here. I think we'll do some purple on the bottom, and I'll do, because this doesn't have a really good, for me, let me find a flattish brush, like inner corner highlight. So I think we'll do a little bit of green in the inner corner instead of doing it on the lower lash. And I'm just going to take, I think it's whipped cream. It's just a cream shade. Normally I do shimmer under the brow bone, but this palette does not really have a light, like super light shimmer shade that would work for that. So we'll actually, let me find a brush here, do more purple. I obviously didn't plan this look out really well. Okay, so we're gonna go into Spice of Life, which is the dark. Going this route actually won't be bad because it'll blend into the outer corner, because that's what we used anyway. So I'm gonna take this and then I'll blend it out with something else. So I'm just taking this all over the bottom, and my lower lash line is probably a little more dramatic than hers. She does a pretty natural lower lash line. I feel like it helps my under eye creases, taking it down lower. And I'm actually going to go into You Spicy, which is that problematic shade. And I'm going to see if I can blend that and it'll give me a little bit of a different tone down here since we're doing sunsetty. I think that looks pretty blended in with that. Okay, and then for inner corner, and hopefully I don't regret this, I'm going to take Fall Vibes, which is this greeny gold, and that's just going to give me a little bit of pop in the inner corner. Hopefully I don't regret. And this again is a chunky shade, so it's harder to get it up on the brush, but if you get it down, it does look pretty. And I'm just going to drag that down to the bottom a little bit. And with this, I'm like pushing it in because I don't have glitter glue on my inner corner. Now you definitely could put glitter glue there. I just don't feel I need to. So I'm pushing it, kind of stamping it in and then blending it out, so I'm not losing it, because like it is flaky. And then blending it into the bottom. I think that's pretty. Okay, I am going to finish my eyes off camera, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on this. I just did some mascara and a little bit of liner, no wing, and then I just put on my Fruit Fetish Pumpkin Spice Lip Balm. It's got a little bit warmer of a tint. This to me has like a caramely smell. It doesn't necessarily scream pumpkin spice, but I like it, so I figured that was fitting with this. Anyways, let's talk about this. I definitely enjoyed using this palette this time. So I think it's just going to be a matter of, because I like these kind of mustardy shades in here. So this is something that I am excited to use this fall a little bit more. I am going to try and do like a fall palette series early. I am pregnant again. I had complications last year when I was pregnant last year. So I'm going to try and do some holiday videos and some fall palette videos early. That way, if I run into problems, because I'm due in October, we'll be ready. Anyways, I will be trying to feature this again. I did like it, and I like the look that I got out of it. I think it's pretty, and there are some shades in here that I want to play around with some more. So I think I was too harsh on this palette the first time. Like I said, I got really disappointed when that shade didn't work. Like I wasn't able to do the same eye looks that I'm used to doing with the gingerbread spice, which is fine because I don't necessarily need two palettes that can do the exact same thing, because that's silly. So if I want to do a super pinky look, I'll just use the gingerbread spice, and then I can use this for some of the other colors. So yeah, I did definitely like this. I do have a new palette that I do want to do a separate video, even though this has been out forever, the Cinnamon Swirl. Again, if you watched my Too Faced holiday, getting makeup on sale late, there's some pretty like pinky purple shades in here that I want to use. So that will be coming. Again, I do want to use this some more. I did really enjoy using it this time. I have a couple of new mini Christmas palettes to play with. I'm thinking about doing a Christmas in July like video series. Again, that way if I run into problems. And then the baby being due in October, it's going to be harder for me to do makeup videos for a couple months. So that is my plan. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely make sure you are subscribed, because those are coming. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I'll make sure you're subscribed if you're not. I have my discount codes. I'll leave them down below for different subscription boxes. All of my even though I don't get the boxes anymore, my codes are still active. So those are all down there for you guys. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye, everybody.